Hi, this is Matt Donegan from Challenger Stories. I'm here with Vivian. Vivian's co-founder of CodeLeap, a multidiscipline software development agency. Vivian, tell me what you guys do.
Hi, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk to you. Yes, let me tell you a little bit about CodeLeap and what we do. So, we're a software development agency and we work with entrepreneurs and businesses to help them launch innovative digital solutions. So, usually they will come to us because they identified either a challenge or an opportunity within their business. And they don't necessarily have the capacity or technical skills to make it happen themselves. And it's usually a project of the sort of nature that it's somewhat unconventional. It's not every other developer that is going to be able to help them with that. So that's usually where we come in. So they'll come to
Okay.
us to help them solve that problem or take advantage of an opportunity that they saw. And whether it's developing a mobile app, a web platform, or an AI project, we help them through the journey. So we do what we call the service includes full support from idea to launch. So we take them from really understanding what should be the starting point for developing their product, their idea, design, development, testing, and launch. So the full service.
Okay, so look, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Let me ask firstly about background. How long has CodeLeap been running?
We've been around for 5 years, almost 6 years actually. So not that long, but it's been a wild journey so far.
I bet it has that, and we're going to come on to that in a minute because we've spoken before. I've got some of the backgrounds to the business. So let's talk about what made you start it in the first place. Because you're not a developer, you're not someone from a technical background, are you? So what was the motivation for you building the business in the first place?
So that is a very good question, and it was really a journey. So I started the business with my brother, who is conveniently a software developer. So at the time, actually, he was doing freelance work as a software developer after working for a few years in startups and at one of London's leading AI consultancy firms. So he had a really strong background already. And at the time when he started doing freelance work, I was working at a venture capital firm. We both are from a very entrepreneurial nature, and he needed some support to grow the business as a proper agency. And I was dying to do something very entrepreneurial myself after working with so many startup founders during my VC job. So I figured it would be the perfect fit. He was very happy to have me come on board. So we built CodeLeap from then on as an agency. And it's been a very difficult journey, but very exciting. And we're very proud of what we've built together. A lot of people have a lot of questions about working with a sibling, but we can't complain. It worked.
You know, that's a really good topic actually, because when you think about it, a lot of people, a lot of the challenges people have is finding the right partners in the first place when they're going into business. You grew up with your partner. How's that relationship been? Have there been moments when you've been thinking, was this the right thing to do? Was working with my sibling the right thing to do here?
That is a very good question. And I think the advantage of working with a sibling is that you know what you're getting yourself into, right? You know them better than anyone else. And then there is this advantage slash disadvantage factor, which is you're very comfortable getting into fights. So it means that you probably have conflicts more often, but it probably also means that you're better at solving your conflicts because you've done it a lot throughout your life.
Yeah,
I think it actually creates a dynamic in which we just don't shy away from any challenges, any issues that we may have. We'll face them head on and we'll discuss them and we'll find a solution because that's what we've been doing our whole lives growing up together. It's just the two of us as siblings. So we've been going through this our whole lives, so we know what we're doing.
so I mean that's a brilliant point actually. So one of the great foundations of having a fantastic leadership team is to be able to disagree and not do it disagreeably. So to be able to have an opinion, to be able to voice it, to be able to be very open about it without it becoming conflict. You don't always have to agree on everything, but you have to agree the way forward. That's the only thing that you need to do. So that's great. You've been managing conflict throughout the space of the business growth, and obviously you're very complementary with what you bring. One is a business professional, and one is a technical professional, and you've got both sides of the coin there, which is fantastic. So,
It was very,
well, let's talk about CodeLeap a little bit. Sorry, you were
I
going to
was just
say.
saying, it was very convenient skill sets to come together.
Absolutely. So CodeLeap, multidiscipline. So you've got UX and UI inside the business as well as the technical aspects or the technical delivery. Doing more in AI now. Are you seeing that as an expanding part of your business?
Yes, so that is a very good question and it's very topical. I think it's interesting to look at our journey so far and it really reflects the tech market as a whole. Your first question, why really did we come about? Why did we start at the business? Is because we were seeing a lot of entrepreneurs who wanted to start a business or even established businesses that wanted to create a digital solution and they didn't necessarily have the skills themselves. So they would need an agency like ours that was willing to really work on highly innovative digital projects that involve some degree of risk. And a while ago, that would mostly be some slightly more complex mobile applications or web applications. Sometimes it would involve building AI projects from scratch, which meant building, literally training a model, an AI model from scratch. Usually our clients would provide us with a database that they had, and we would train a model on top of that. And now that's not really the case. Now AI became accessible to everyone. So even most mobile apps and web apps, they will involve AI in some way or another. There is just so much that AI can offer, and the costs are just so much lower because we can integrate our services with other third-party providers such as OpenAI, use their models, and it's much easier to innovate. It's really a great time to be an entrepreneur or a business owner right now.
What challenges are you seeing in the marketplace at the moment?
That is a very interesting question, and I think as in any other time when there's a lot of opportunity, there's also a lot of competition. So I think being fast and going to market fast is very important now.
Yeah, yeah. I'd wholeheartedly agree with that. When you look at the number of tech solutions that are out there and the incredible speed by which digital projects on products are coming to market, it's phenomenal. I mean, there's a storm of them now. I mean, there has been for some time, but now AI-enabled apps. If you're not AI-enabled, I think some customers aren't even looking at the products anymore, which is a fascinating perspective. So that's the challenges in the marketplace. What about the challenges for you? What are your challenges right now?
Look, for us as a business, our challenge has always been how to grow faster. We had a very fast growth trajectory since we started our business. And lately we had an added challenge, which is the fact that I became a mother and I had a baby 8 months ago.
Congratulations. Wow.
So a lot of people thought I was crazy because I work so many hours. How could I possibly become a mother? And how would that impact our business? And I find it fascinating to see the impacts that it actually had. I couldn't take maternity leave I gave birth on a Friday. On the following Monday, I was already answering my emails again.
Wow.
I really couldn't take, obviously I wasn't working that many hours, but I couldn't really take much of a break. Being a mother gave me a whole new perspective on our business and what we should be aiming for. And it got us on a path, on a journey of creating much better processes internally. And we were able to also hire really incredible people and become a lot more efficient at what we do. Essentially because once you have a baby and you want to spend your time with them, and then you have all these silly little things that you need to do in your work, that every work involves that. I was thinking, it doesn't really need to be me. Maybe I can structure this in a way that anyone can do that, or that we can hire someone else that could be able to do this. And I started breaking down my work in a lot more efficient ways, and I just don't want the business to become dependent on me anymore. And as we created these processes and allowed the business to become more self-sustainable, we also created a lot more opportunities internally for my team, for my co-founder, and we're now in a really good place. So it's been a very interesting 8 months for the business.
That's a fascinating perspective, because when you're forced to confront change in your business, when you absolutely have to change, otherwise the business really won't thrive, or in some cases survive without that change. Developing systems and processes is very often the key that unlocks so many problems for so many businesses. You can't scale. It's impossible to scale without systems. Systems, in my book, stands for saves you stress, time, effort, and money, and you've done that. You've put that in place. Every single part of a business is in one way, shape, or form a system or a process. So it's great that you've really embraced that, and now you truly are built to scale, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's always a journey. Having a business, you never feel like you've done enough. You always feel like there's more to do, and there's so much more that we could be doing. And I hope that we'll be able to get there. But it is a process, and I think any entrepreneur will agree with that.
So presumably the space that you're in now, your headspace right now, is the fact that you've got focus because you're not doing the things that take your every day away, that suck the time out of the day. You've now got time to focus on what's important for the business as opposed to running it.
Yes, and it also freed up my time for something that I think is the most important work that I can possibly do, which is spend time with our clients. In the end of the day, a good business has happy customers.
Yeah, yeah, and the other really important thing, of course, what we're saying here, Vivian, is what's incredibly important in your life is your baby. So you need to spend time with your baby, right?
Well, it doesn't mean that I'm not working a crazy amount of
No.
hours. I still
Yeah.
do, but it does mean that while I'm working, I feel like I'm working where I'm really needed.
Yeah.
And it's just not just hours that I'm wasting while I could be spending precious time with my daughter.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yes, I think
Absolutely.
a very exciting new phase that we're starting now is, and both on my side and on my co-founder side as well, during this process, he was also able to focus a lot on his part of the business and giving a lot more autonomy to our tech leads who are now brilliantly managing their projects with a lot less input from our CTO. Is much more overseen from a distance at this point because we really have an incredible team. And so both of us were able to free up a lot of our time over the last year, I would say. And it means that we can have more meaningful and strategic conversations with our clients instead of
Yeah.
spending that much time managing the business and making sure that things are running properly. We can look at things at a much more strategic level with our customers because that's who we really want to be focusing on. That's there who really matters, and um,
Yeah.
they're our primary focus for CodeLeap.
So are you finding, with regards to your clients, are you finding that there's legacy products that they're now asking you to update with AI? Are they asking you to start from scratch on products, or how's that working at the moment?
So look, there's a little bit of everything, but a common issue that we find is a lot of businesses have come to us lately over the last year or so. So businesses come to us and say, I want to use AI in my business. And we say, okay, where? And there's not a lot of clarity in that. A lot of business directors and C-level professionals, they will have an inkling of where AI can be useful and we'll start looking at that. And sometimes we realize it's in a different direction, or perhaps their guess was just right. But the main issue is when a business technical foundation is really not there, it's not very solid, they have a lot of legacy systems in place. Talking about AI is a bit pointless at that stage because they're not ready for it. The business needs to do a lot of transformations internally, making sure that their data is handled appropriately, that they have good systems that talk to each other, before they're even able to implement any AI project. And sometimes they want to move forward with it and implement an AI project. And that means usually building something that is not going to really be built to scale, because at some point they're going to have to confront the tech foundations of their business and their data infrastructure. And the AI solution that we might have built them now is not necessarily going to be fit for purpose in the future.
Yeah.
So that is a tough situation, and I understand businesses that are in this spot, and it's a
Yeah.
tough decision to make.
There are lots of large organisations out there that have very large IT infrastructure and systems and processes, or their digital products are enwrapped in their systems and processes, either for the customer or internally. That change from taking a legacy system, which is probably built on old technology and architecture, and moving it across, when we see how fast the marketplace is moving at the moment, that presumably is giving you both a challenge and also massive opportunity. Would that be right?
That is correct, but really, I don't see ourselves as. I don't think it's our job to convince these businesses that it's their time to make that move. It is a huge decision and usually a big investment, and requires a lot of time and effort from
Yeah.
multiple teams to migrate to a new system, for example. So I think the business leadership, they are the ones that will know when is the right time for them to do that. And really,
Yeah.
they usually know when they need to do it, because they will have been facing issues for a few years,
Yeah.
and they'll come to us when they're ready. And I don't think it's our place to be pushy. There are many variables involved. That is not just the technology. So we're here to support our clients and not try to persuade them of something that perhaps might not be the right timing for them.
Okay, so let's ask you a couple other questions outside of the kind of straight up business questions, I guess. In your business journey so far, who's inspired you?
I love this question, and I love it because it really is my parents. Both my parents, they're entrepreneurs. They have a business together that they've been running for 35 years. They longer than I exist. So at home growing up, it was constant conversations about the business and what they're going through. My brother and I have witnessed it all, and watching our parents with the love and passion and dedication that they had for their business was truly inspiring. And I think it really resulted in us wanting to have our own business as well. And we actually never thought about working together, my brother and I. It was never a thing. It just kind of happened once we got to that stage in life. I think when you watch business owners really work hard to get to where they want to get to, it's really hard to not admire the hard work that they put into it.
So, question for you here, and it's more a question for your folks, really, for your parents. When you started in business with your brother, did they say, "That's crazy, don't do it," or did they embrace it and say, "This is fantastic, we love what you're doing"?
Look, funnily enough, I think everyone around us thought it was a bad idea because no one can imagine working with their siblings. I don't know if you have any brothers or sisters, but Matt, would you work with them? Yeah, so most people, if I asked them about this, no one would want to work with their siblings. And probably most people wouldn't want to work with their spouse either, which is what my parents are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're two kind of no-go areas, aren't they? Yeah.
But our parents, they were very happy. They were extremely happy that we were working together. They see also that we have very complementary skills and that it was a great opportunity. So why not? And I do think that we're civilized enough to be able to handle go through this journey together and handle any challenges that come our way. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We can go back to doing our different things, but thankfully it did work out.
Well, clearly has. The business is growing really well. You've got really happy clients, really strong client base. Business is expanding, taking on more projects. You've got systems in place so you can scale the business properly now. You've got all those things in place. What do you find is the most exciting thing on the horizon for you at the moment?
Look, I think we're very fortunate to have incredible clients, to be working with them and supporting them in their growth journey. And we're also in a very lucky position now to be attracting other really exciting businesses to work with us. So, and as time goes on, and especially with this AI revolution that we're seeing, the projects that come to us, they're more and more interesting. It's rare that we'll see a very standard tech platform or standard mobile app that someone wants developed. It's usually the sort of unconventional tech challenge that we love and that our developers get super excited about. And sometimes it involves a bit of risk, and that's really what we love. We love working on new things that have never been done before. So we're excited to build more innovation with our customers.
Excellent. So, one final question. You meet your 18-year-old self walking down the street, or any person starting out in business actually, what would you say to them?
I think there's two elements of this. I think one big piece of advice that I would give any young person is to start early. If they want to be an entrepreneur, start early. I think it's always good. Maybe they're not in a position that they can start something full time, but they can start a side hustle, and that's already tremendous learning. But I also think is extremely valuable if you have someone next to you that you can have as a mentor, someone that will help you grow and will help you learn, maybe someone that will offer you a work opportunity. Just take it and give it everything you've got. Work really hard and learn as much as you can. When you have a learning opportunity, just grab it. And if you feel like you're not learning, probably you're not in the right place. So that is my advice to a young person.
So it's great advice, isn't it? Just get in there early. Just start doing it. It's going to expand your mind. It's going to expand your experience, and also, Vivian, let's be honest here. Not everybody is cutting out for running a business. People work that you've got intrapreneurs as well as entrepreneurs. The people work inside of organisations pushing for change and development and internal development of the business. And they're not necessarily the people that will go out and run a business. It's pretty stressful. As we know, running a business is challenging. You're often the last one to get paid, you're the last person to get a rise, you're the last person to get a pat on the back, and the first person anybody goes to with a problem. So from that perspective, it's not for everybody, is it? But it's for you, isn't it? You love
It
that.
really is challenging, and like you mentioned, oh, it sounds like you guys made it. Yes, I'm happy that we're in a very comfortable position now as a business, but the reality as an entrepreneur is that there's always a degree of risk, right? Things are never certain. You always need to be fighting for your business. You always need to be fighting for it to continue growing, for it to survive. There's always competition out there, and there's no alternative to that. It's a constant fight. So you need to really enjoy the game.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Vivian, thank you so much for today. I want to keep in contact and see what CodeLeap's doing in the future. I'm absolutely certain it's going to be thriving. So congratulations on that. Congratulations on being able to work with your brother and develop the business. Let's keep in contact. I want to find out much more what CodeLeap is about. Vivian, thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. It's really lovely to talk to you. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your podcast.
Likewise.
And I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you. Likewise. Thanks, Vivian. Bye-bye.